My beloved child, listen carefully, because this is not just another message scrolling past your eyes. This is not coincidence. This is not random. This is not something you found by accident. This is the moment that was written for you long before you even knew how to question your own existence, long before the nights you cried alone, long before the days you felt abandoned, misunderstood, and broken. I have been watching you. I have been guiding you. I have been waiting for the exact second when your heart would be quiet enough, your mind would be desperate enough, and your soul would be open enough to finally hear what I have been trying to tell you all along. And right now, in this very moment, I am calling your name, not the name the world knows you by, not the name people use when they need something from you, but the name I whispered into your spirit before you were born, the name that carries your purpose, your power, your destiny, and your truth, and you feel it, don't you? That strange pull in your chest, that sudden stillness in your thoughts, that unexplainable urge to stop everything and just listen. That is not fear, that is not anxiety, that is me reaching through every wall you built, through every doubt you created, through every lie you were told. And I am telling you now, do not ignore this moment, because the life you have been living, the confusion you have been feeling, the pain you have been carrying, it was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to prepare you, because I do not call the comfortable, I do not awaken those who are satisfied with ordinary. I call the ones who have been through fire, the ones who have been betrayed, the ones who have questioned everything, because those are the souls strong enough to carry what I am about to place in their hands. And you, my child, you are one of them. Even when you thought you were alone, even when you believed no one saw your struggle, I was there in every silent tear. I was there in every sleepless night. I was there when you felt like giving up, and something inside you refused to break. That something was me. And now the time has come for you to understand that your life is not falling apart, it is falling into alignment. The people who left you were not losses, they were removals. The doors that closed were not failures, they were protection. The delays, the confusion, the waiting, it was all part of a design that your human mind could never fully understand, but your spirit recognizes it now, doesn't it? Because something inside you is waking up. Something inside you is remembering that you were never meant to live small. You were never meant to chase validation. You were never meant to beg for love that was already placed within you. You were created with intention, with precision, with a purpose that cannot be replaced. And yet the world tried to make you forget it, told you to fit in, it told you to stay quiet, it told you to doubt yourself. It filled your mind with fear and comparison, and slowly you started to believe that voice. You started to shrink, you started to question your worth. But today I am breaking that illusion. Today I am reminding you of who you really are. You are not weak, you are not forgotten, you are not behind, you are exactly where you need to be to receive what is coming next. But here is the truth that most will never understand. Hearing me is not enough, feeling this moment is not enough. You must respond, you must choose, you must decide that you are no longer going to live half awake. You must decide that fear will no longer control your actions. You must decide that the version of you that kept settling, that kept doubting, that kept waiting is no longer who you are. Because when I call your name, I am not asking for your attention, I am asking for your transformation. I am asking you to step into the life that was designed for you, even if it scares you, even if it feels unfamiliar, even if no one around you understands it. Because the path I have for you will not always be easy, but it will always be meaningful, and every step you take in faith will reveal something greater than what you leave behind. And I know you are tired, I know you have been carrying more than anyone realizes. I know there were moments you felt like nothing was changing, like your prayers were unheard, like your efforts were invisible. But understand this: silence is not absence, delay is not denial, and your story is not over. In fact, it is just beginning, because right now something is shifting, something is aligning, something is being set into motion that will change the way you see yourself, the way you see your life, and the way you understand everything that has happened to you. But you must not miss this moment. You must not scroll past this calling. You must not silence this voice, because opportunities like this do not come often. This is your awakening. This is your turning point. This is the line between the life you have been living and the life you were meant to live. And the only thing Standing between those two realities is your decision. Will you stay where it is safe, where it is familiar, where it is comfortable but empty, or will you rise? Will you trust? Will you step into the unknown, knowing that I am guiding you every step of the way? Because I am not asking you to have all the answers. I am not asking you to be perfect. I am asking you to be willing to listen, willing to grow, willing to let go of everything that no longer serves you and embrace the truth of who you are. Because the moment you say yes, everything begins to change. The weight you have been carrying starts to lift, the confusion starts to clear, the fear starts to lose its power, and suddenly you begin to see what was always there, the signs, the guidance, the protection, the love that never left you. And as you move forward, you will notice that things will start to align in ways you cannot explain. Doors will open that you never knocked on. People will enter your life who recognize your worth. Opportunities will appear that match your purpose, and you will realize that nothing was wasted, not your pain, not your mistakes, not your waiting. Every single moment was shaping you, preparing you, strengthening you for this exact season. And when you look back, you will understand why things had to happen the way they did. You will see how what once broke you actually built you, how what once confused you actually guided you, and how what once hurt you actually protected you from paths that were never meant for you. But for now you must trust. For now you must listen. For now you must hold on to this truth that you are being called for something greater, something deeper, something more powerful than anything you have experienced before. And the only way to step into it is to let go of who you were and embrace who you are becoming, because the old version of you cannot carry the blessings that are coming. The old mindset cannot sustain the new life that is being prepared for you. You must evolve. You must grow. You must rise. And I know it feels difficult. I know it feels uncertain, but understand this: you were never meant to do this alone. I am with you in every step. I am guiding you in every decision. I am strengthening you in every challenge. And even when you feel like you are lost, I am leading you exactly where you need to be. So do not doubt this moment. Do not question why you are here. Do not ignore the feeling inside your chest that tells you this is real, because it is real. This is your calling. This is your awakening. This is your moment, and what you do next will define everything. Will you go back to sleep? Will you return to the life that no longer fulfills you? Or will you rise and answer the call? Will you trust that there is something greater waiting for you, even if you cannot see it yet? Because I promise you this: the moment you choose faith over fear, the moment you choose growth over comfort, the moment you choose to listen instead of ignore, everything will begin to shift in your favor, and you will step into a version of yourself that you never thought was possible, a version that is stronger, wiser, more confident, more aligned, more alive. And when that happens, you will look back at this exact moment and realize that this was the beginning. This was the point where everything changed. This was the moment you stopped surviving and started living. This was the moment you stopped doubting and started believing. This was the moment you heard my voice and chose to follow it. So I ask you again, my beloved child, do not miss this moment. Do not turn away. Do not silence what you feel, because I am calling your name right now, and your life will never be the same again if you choose to answer. My beloved child, now that you have felt this call and something inside you has begun to awaken, you must understand that the moment after realization is the most dangerous moment of all, because this is where most people fall back into their old life. This is where doubt creeps, and this is where fear begins to whisper again, telling you that nothing has changed, that this feeling will pass, that you should go back to what is familiar. But listen carefully, this is the test. This is where your transformation either begins or ends, because awareness without action will only return you to the same cycle you have been trying to escape. And I did not bring you this far just for you to go back. I did not call your name just for you to ignore it. I brought you here because you are ready for more, even if you don't fully believe it yet, even if your Mind is still trying to understand what your spirit already knows, and that is why everything around you may start to feel different now. Conversations that once excited you will feel empty, places that once comforted you will feel heavy, people you once depended on may feel distant and confusing, and you might wonder why everything is shifting so suddenly. But understand this clearly: when you begin to rise, everything that cannot rise with you will begin to fall away, not as punishment but as preparation, because you cannot step into a higher version of yourself while holding on to what belongs to your past. And I know this part hurts. I know letting go is not easy. I know there are attachments, memories, emotions, and expectations that you have carried for so long that releasing them feels like losing a part of yourself. But what you don't realize yet is that you are not losing anything that is meant for you. You are only making space for what truly belongs in your life, and the sooner you accept this, the lighter you will feel, the clearer your path will become, and the stronger your connection to me will grow. Because every time you choose to trust over fear, every time you choose to let go instead of hold on, every time you choose growth instead of comfort, you are aligning yourself with the purpose I have placed within you, and that alignment will begin to change everything in ways you cannot yet imagine. But there is something you must be careful about in this stage, and that is the illusion of going back. Because your old life will try to pull you in again. It will remind you of comfort. It will show you familiar faces, familiar habits, familiar patterns, and it will feel easier to return than to move forward. But easier does not mean better, and familiar does not mean right, because the life you are being called to is not built on comfort. It is built on truth, and truth will always require you to grow beyond what you know. And I know you are tired. I know you have already fought battles that no one saw. I know you have carried pain that no one understood, and part of you just wants rest, part of you just wants peace. And I hear you, I see you, and I am not asking you to keep fighting the same battles. I am asking you to step into a new life where those battles no longer define you. But to reach that life, you must first leave behind the version of you that survived those struggles, because that version of you served its purpose. It kept you going when things were hard. It protected you when you were vulnerable. But now it is time for you to become someone new, someone who is not just surviving but living, someone who is not just reacting but creating, someone who is not just existing but evolving. And this transformation will not happen overnight. It will not be perfect. It will not be easy, but it will be worth it, because every step you take forward, no matter how small, is a step away from the life that drained you, and a step closer to the life that fulfills you. And as you continue on this path, you will start to notice something powerful happening within you. Your thoughts will begin to change, your reactions will begin to shift, your priorities will become clearer, and the things that once controlled you will begin to lose their power over you. And that is how you will know that you are truly transforming, not by what you achieve on the outside, but by who you become on the inside. Because real change is not about what you gain, it is about what you release, and what you release in this season will determine what you receive in the next. And I am preparing something for you that requires a stronger mindset, a clearer vision, a deeper sense of self, and a greater level of trust. And you cannot receive that if you are still holding on to doubt, fear, and limitation. So this is your moment to decide again, not just to hear my voice, but to follow it, not just to feel inspired, but to take action, not just to believe for a moment, but to commit to your growth every single day, even when it is hard. Even when it feels slow, even when you don't see immediate results, because the truth is the biggest transformations happen in silence. They happen in the moments when no one is watching, when you choose discipline over distraction, when you choose purpose over pleasure, when you choose to keep going even when you feel like stopping. And those are the moments that will shape your future. Those are the moments that will define who you become. And I promise you this: if you stay consistent, if you stay committed, If you stay connected to this calling, you will reach a point where everything starts to make sense, where the confusion fades, where the pain transforms into strength, where the waiting turns into receiving, and when that moment comes, you will realize that every challenge, every delay, every struggle was not there to break you but to build you into the person who could handle the life that is now unfolding before you. But until that moment arrives, you must remain strong, you must remain focused, you must remain faithful to the path you are on, because distractions will come, doubts will appear, people may question you, circumstances may test you, but none of that matters as long as you remember why you started, as long as you remember this moment, as long as you remember that you were called for something greater, and that call is not something you can ignore anymore, because once you hear it, once you feel it, once you recognize it, you can never go back to being the same person again. And that is both a gift and a responsibility. A gift because you now have the awareness to change your life, and a responsibility because you must now choose to use that awareness to grow, to evolve, to rise and become everything you were created to be. So stand firm in this decision, stand strong in this transformation, and do not look back, because the life ahead of you is waiting for you to step into it, and every moment you hesitate is a moment you delay your own growth, but every moment you choose to move forward is a moment you claim your power and your purpose and your future. So I ask you again, my beloved child, will you continue this journey? Will you trust this process? Will you rise above everything that once held you back? Because what comes next will require a new version of you, and that version is already within you, waiting for you to fully embrace it, waiting for you to fully become it, waiting for you to finally step into the life that was always meant for you. And the moment you do, everything will begin to change in ways you never thought possible. My beloved child, if you have come this far, then understand this is no longer just a message, this is now a covenant between you and the destiny that has been waiting for you long before you ever questioned your purpose. Because most people turn away before reaching this point. Most people feel the call, but they do not stay long enough to understand it. They get distracted, they get afraid, they go back to their old patterns and convince themselves that nothing was ever happening. But you are still here, reading this, feeling this, knowing deep inside that something real is unfolding within you, and that is because your soul recognizes truth even when your mind tries to doubt it. And now you are standing at the edge of a transformation that will change everything about the way you see yourself, your life and your future. But before you step fully into it, there is something you must face. There is a part of you that still clings to the past. There is a voice inside you that still whispers fear, that still reminds you of your failures, your mistakes, your disappointments, and tries to convince you that you are not ready, that you are not worthy, that you are not capable. And this voice has been with you for so long that it almost feels like a part of who you are. But listen to me carefully, that voice is not your truth. That voice is the echo of everything you have been through. It is the residue of every time you were doubted, every time you were hurt, every time you were made to feel small, and it has no authority over who you are becoming unless you continue to believe it. Because the truth is, you have already outgrown the person you used to be. You have already survived things that once felt impossible. You have already proven that there is something stronger within you, something that refuses to break no matter how hard life has tried to test you. And that strength, that resilience, that quiet power inside you, that is what I placed within you. That is the part of you that is meant to rise now. That is the part of you that is meant to lead your life forward. But in order for that to happen, you must make a final decision. You must decide that you are no longer going to identify with your past. You are no longer going to define yourself by what happened to you. You are no longer going to let old wounds control new opportunities. Because if you carry your past into your future, you will recreate the same reality in a different form, and that is not why you are here. You are here to break the cycle. You are here to step into something new, something greater, something aligned with the truth of who you are. And that requires courage, that requires faith, that requires a level of trust that goes beyond what you can see or understand. Because the next chapter of your life will not look like the last one. It will not feel familiar. It will not follow the patterns you are used to. And that is exactly how you will know that you are on the right path. Because Growth never feels like comfort at the beginning. Growth feels like uncertainty. It feels like letting go. It feels like stepping into the unknown without having all the answers. But what you must remember is that you are not stepping into the unknown alone. I am with you in every step, guiding you, protecting you, aligning things in your favor, even when you cannot see it, even when it feels like nothing is happening behind the scenes. Everything is being prepared for you, and there will come a moment soon where everything starts to shift in a way that you cannot ignore, where opportunities begin to appear, where clarity begins to replace confusion, where you start to feel a sense of direction that you have not felt in a long time. And when that moment comes, you must be ready. You must be willing to move forward without hesitation, because hesitation is the only thing that can delay what is already meant for you. Fear is the only thing that can block what is already being given to you. And I do not want you to miss what is coming, because you allowed old thoughts to control new possibilities, because you allowed doubt to silence your calling, because you allowed comfort to keep you stuck in a life that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. And that is why this moment is so important. This is not just about hearing my voice. This is about trusting it. This is about acting on it. This is about becoming the person who is ready to receive everything that is being prepared for them. And that means you must start showing up differently. You must start thinking differently. You must start choosing differently. You must start living as if the life you desire is already unfolding, because the way you show up today determines the reality you step into tomorrow. And if you continue to act like the old version of yourself, you will continue to experience the same results. But if you rise, if you shift, if you align your actions with your purpose, everything will begin to change. And I know there will still be moments of doubt. I know there will still be challenges. I know there will still be times where you question whether you are on the right path. But in those moments, I want you to remember this feeling. I want you to remember this message. I want you to remember that you were called for a reason, and that reason has not changed just because things feel difficult, because difficulty is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. It is a sign that you are growing. It is a sign that you are stepping beyond your limits. It is a sign that you are becoming more than you were before, and that process will never be easy, but it will always be worth it. And as you continue on this journey, you will begin to see the results of your transformation, not just in your external life, but within yourself. You will feel stronger. You will feel more confident. You will feel more aligned with who you truly are, and that inner shift will begin to reflect in every area of your life, your relationships, your opportunities, your mindset, your energy. Everything will start to align with the new version of you that you have chosen to become. And when that alignment happens, you will realize that you are no longer chasing anything. You are attracting what is meant for you, because you have become the person who is ready to receive it. And that is the ultimate transformation. That is the moment where everything changes, not because the world around you suddenly became different, but because you did, because you chose to rise, because you chose to trust, because you chose to answer the call that so many others ignore. And now, my beloved child, as you stand here at the end of this message, understand this is not the end of your journey. This is the beginning. This is the moment where everything starts to unfold. This is the moment where you step into the life that has been waiting for you, and all that is left now is your decision. Will you fully embrace this transformation? Will you fully step into your purpose? Will you fully trust the path that is being revealed to you? Because the moment you say yes, not just in words but in action, not just in thought but in commitment, everything will begin to move in your favor in ways that you cannot even imagine yet. And your life will never be the same again, because you did not ignore the call. You did not turn away. You did not choose fear. You chose to rise. You chose to believe. You chose to become. And that choice will echo through every moment of your future, shaping a life that is aligned, powerful, and truly yours. So go forward with confidence, go forward with faith, go forward knowing that you are guided, protected, and called for something greater. And never forget this moment, because this is the moment that changed everything.